Doesn't matter how fast your reflexes are after it's instant. But, well, look
There's
who
the
it
Lion.
is.
Yeah. So I like Shadow Shaman more than Lion. He's got a stronger laning presence. He's actually got a stronger right click. He's got a nuke in the lane as well.
I'm
You've got
sorry, did you
Shackles.
say that Shadow Shaman hasn't...
It's
a
better,
better right click than Lion, sorry.
better than
I
right
was
click
like,
than Lion.
he's the range tree, not a hero, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. He's got a better
He's
right
range
click
tree.
than
Yeah.
Lion. Yeah. So he also gives your team a little bit of push. So Shadow Shaman is obviously a reaction to this puck pick, but it's a nice staple as well. And if we see a performance from Harry the Hams on the Shadow Shaman like we did on the Winter Wyvern, we're going to be in for a treat. So the Lion response is pretty surprising because it's not a block pick because they already picked the Shadow Shaman to deal with the puck. So interesting to see what this Lion is specifically for. Is it just for a counter blink hex, something to stop the Shadow Shaman shackles from going off? Shadow Shaman has a low HP pool, so maybe you're trying to fight the support with a support. Lion can kill Shadow Shaman if he's the one that gets the jump. So we'll see how it pans out. What do you combo with the Shadow Shaman in your opinion, Holbert? Like from a next pick perspective, do you go with the offlane pick here or do you go with more flex?
A good question. One that I'm going to try to avoid answering because we do have one of the
There's the
answers
Master.
coming out here. Mars
the
coming out. But can I actually make a very... If any of you guys remember Prophecy, he once made a comment to me about making an analytical type of comment that may not make a huge amount of sense as long as you explain it, right? And I actually love the idea of playing Shadow Shaman in a role where he's given the freedom to move around. So without being forced to babysit heroes or have to stand behind a hero that wants to farm. So mobile carries, because if you do give Shadow Shaman space, he does just casually push side lanes very well and can steal some tier 1s, even sometimes some tier 2 towers for you. So I would love him to be, alongside cores that don't necessarily need extreme babysitting, or at a push, you can see like an old school Shadow Shaman mid type of thing come out.
So his shard is also one of the strongest in the game. So even as a pos 5 at level, when you hit 20 minutes into the game, if you have the 1,400 gold to buy the shard, when you shackle one of the creeps in the creep wave, it actually spawns 4 snakes. And you can farm an entire creep wave just with those 4 snakes. So you can actually go and start cutting waves, just shackling them and then running away. The snakes will kill the entire creep wave, and you can actually scale really quickly, like as a support from just by purchasing that 1,400 gold shard. I do like the
Venomancer? Where are you now? Huh? Who needs jungle Venomancer when you can have jungle... You can't have jungle Shaman. Someone will figure it out.
I like the Mars pick again. Petunia missed a few spears in the early game, but he compensated in the late game again. He hit some massive arenas, especially that bot one where they went to Wyvern set up into it. So just another hero that's going to put tempo on the map, control it for them. So that's what we spoke about as well. Petunia moving to the offlane. Clearly, he likes these tempo heroes, and that he's not playing mid anymore. Like he's going to go play offlane now and set the tempo from there. So he set nice tempo for his team in the previous game, and it just forced map control for them. We then see a Juggernaut ban, a Wraith King ban, which is pretty good. I think Jug is good against the Mars. Wraith King pretty good against Shadow Shaman, especially if you go the Radiance build. But then we see a Naga ban, so that's probably RDK focused as well. And then Phoenix, mainly because obviously they've got Mars already. You don't want that Mars Phoenix combo, the arena protecting the egg. Monkey King is still in the pool though, so they can probably pick up Monkey into this Mars. And you've got Puck Dreamcore with a Monkey that can capitalize off it, dropping his ulti, hitting multiple stuns. They end up banning the Monkey King. Maybe Nemi is not a big Monkey player. I'm not sure. I'm not too aware of what his complete Euro pool at the moment is.
Well, I mean, from what I know, MD has quite the monkey, so maybe that's responsive to that or something. But yeah, look, it is a bit of an interesting draft where you see the Alchemist also out of here, the Wraith King, and also Naga, man. Like I'm kind of sad we don't see an RDK Naga because it's always just a beauty to watch. This man has got like the best Naga in South Africa, I feel. But still lining up for a very enticing game at 30 here. We have some big bans out. Some big picks already on the field with some clutch heroes. I mean, I want to say I gave Precious Junior a hard time, and know that it will be a particular joy of mine to give him an even harder time for every spear that man misses, because he's beaten me enough puppies to have earned my my salt. I mean, I'm in the appropriate company, right? So he's earned my salt. But jokes aside, I agree with you on a comment you made earlier about the presence he had on the map was bigger than missing a couple of spears. He was
Yeah,
a very
yeah.
solid hero. So
You always
fine
had to be
choice.
scared of him, regardless of where he was going. We see the Alchemist ban. I guess they want to solidify this game and not be. I'm going to call it cheese, but the hero is very popular at the moment, and it's pretty flexible at the moment as well. We're seeing pos 1, 2, and 3 Alchemists. So picking up Disruptor, I guess that's a good puck counter. Like if Mars goes this Yule's build again, like he can literally blink onto the puck and use him, and Disruptor can just drop his ulti onto the Yule's puck. When he comes down, he can't get out of it. So there's little mini interactions coming through here. Disruptor against puck, pretty good. And then what is PunX going to respond with?
Well, actually, at some point, I recall Soup having a particularly good puck, right? And that may have been something that we're considering as running in a mid kind of capacity. But I would absolutely loathe to play puck against the heroes that are on the map right now. And as you mentioned, it's so easy to just with a disruptor and a Yules to ruin your life. But I guess a puck looks actually could be a mid Grimstroke as well. I was going to say likely a corner, but that's
I think Gambino plays a bit of puck as well, so that puck can go offlane as well. So their flexibility is still strong. I don't know if Soup has been maybe doing some Grimstroke middle. We have seen some players experimenting with it. You like with the whole E-Blade rush, but
didn't you do
you
this
kind of
not too long ago? Wasn't this one of
yeah,
your
like I was doing a lot of Grimstroke middle. And the hero is quite strong because you can adapt kind of to what's in the game. But I was doing it mainly when Wraith King was like flavor in the meta, and then with the Radiance build, you just go E-Blade into Ags, and the Wraith King is just not viable because you make an illusion of him, you put Inkswell on it, and the Wraith King itself, which is the damage dealer, is getting E-Bladed, so he can't attack it. A
Okay.
Bristle.
Yeah, this is a bit of a left field for me as well. I'm not gonna lie. I don't quite see where this fits in, and I feel it almost limits the lanes unless it's maybe one position bristle. I
This could
mean,
be a mid Bristle. I don't think Puck does much to Bristleback, and Bristle can harass like consistently. He could just rush Hood in the lane and then go whatever he wants afterwards. Um, or this could be a mid Mars. I know MD has played a bit of mid Mars. If I'm not mistaken, I think he played it like 1 or 2 games last year in DGC as well. So maybe it's a mid Mars and that's an offlane Bristle, but Bristle could go mid as well. And we have seen some carry bristles as well. Gork played it for Team Bold the other night, and they go with a Slock pick.
go ruin your bristle's life.
Yeah, but you're picking it into a disruptor.
I mean,
That's unless he's going to go like, I guess he's going to rely off the line and the puck to make plays. But yeah, Grimstroke Slock, he can get Inkswell jumped onto a target. There's silence from the Grim as well, so some early kill potential. I just don't know if this pick is strong enough. He's just going to drop if he comes out of his ulti. Like, if Disruptor is going to control him, this Mars is going to control him. This is a very hard slot game. I understand why they picked it because of all the tanky heroes from a Mars and Bristleback perspective.
I mean,
Maybe
yeah,
they're
true.
looking
There's
for.
still a ton of agi of the Mars as well, so this guy could go. Man, you're
I
gonna have a
think they
great
might
time.
be looking for like a staple Silver's Edge builder. I know the hero hasn't seen much love since they changed the Echo Saber out of it, but maybe it's just like, okay, we're gonna go Silver's Edge on our Slock. Then he'll probably go like Diffusal Blade into Silvers, or he'll go Diffusal into Ags, and then late game for Silvers. So there is some things here, but then you could have also done PA and then just buy the Aghanim Shard, which breaks now as
Yeah,
well.
I actually, and, I immediately looked at like I don't like playing Bristle up against Slark. I think Slark's great against Bristleback, but at the same time, when I look at the fact that they probably were thinking in their minds like they got Puck sorted out, many of the same weaknesses that Slark has are the same weaknesses that Puck has. Because yes, you could theoretically precast your fairy name, help me out
This
here.
is a really good Viper game.
That's not
It's
what I
a
meant by
really good
helping
Viper
out. Anyway, Dark Pact. You can precast your Dark Pact to obviously dispel a Shadow Shaman beautifully. But at the same time, that's assuming he doesn't see you first. Because a Shadow
Yeah.
Shaman with a Blink Dagger, which is probably what's going to happen at some point in this game, is a beautiful counter to Slark. I mean, just he'll control you until the end of the game. You'll sit there waiting for the throne to die while you get
Apart
respawned
from
by
that
the
as
Shadow
well,
Shaman.
like Shadow Shamans these days are rushing Aether Lens because they've got a nice cast range talent as well.
Hmm.
And then you can take the Shackle range, cast range talent as well in the later stage of the game. And you can literally just shackle the Slog from the tree line before he even knows that you're there.
Yeah.
So there's like little mini things here. I just don't like playing Slocked into Disruptor. He's one of the supports which I hate the most. You might kill the Disruptor, but if he drops his ulti on himself and you jump him, like you just disabled, and you need a BKB before you can really kill the supports. And that you want to be picking Slock because he can kill the supports early in these fights, and then he can feed off these tanky heroes in the later stage.
So before we go too deep into this, we got 2 picks coming. So I want to. We're not going to give anything away. Not here. We're gonna keep the last 2 to ourselves for a reason. I actually want to hear from the chat. We're gonna throw this over to the Twitch viewers. And if you're not watching in Twitch, you should come over to the channel very quickly so that you too can be part of the audience participation part of our show, which is I want to see, because I think we're both saying that up until this point, the WG lineup is superior, right? So now what I want to know is, did that last pick versus the WRG last pick change things around? Do we have a superior lineup now for PunX? Obviously, we're a little bit delayed here, so I'll only probably answer you in game if I think I'll have the advantage of time, right? But point being, let us know what your thoughts are. And not here, I'm going to ask you an entirely different question instead. And that is, should this game go to game 3? Should we reach the point where PunX are able to turn this one around and give us to... Do you think that they'll have enough in the tank to take down a side like WRG?
Well, PunX have better support. They've got a better support combo now as well. Like Lion Grimstroke can actually do stuff on the map with all of their heroes. Like they can do something with the Void Spirit, they can do something with the Slark, they can do something with the Puck. Like it's not these 2 passive supports that are waiting for your cores to do stuff. Like your Lion can be aggressive. Your Grimstroke can tell this Void Spirit, okay, I'm going to inks while you go in. Like there's better. This is it's giving them a fighting chance. It's a much, I think, more balanced draft. It's an offlane Void Spirit, so that's their tempo on the map, which they were lacking a little bit in the last game. But we're seeing a mid-Legion commander into this Puck, which is very interesting. Like, that's very, very interesting. Maybe it's just like a MD staple. RDK wanted to play some Bristleback, but they are a really tanky draft. Like, this would have been like a... Was Timbersaw taken out? I didn't see the last 2 bans.
I would be lying if I told you, but a little birdie in my ear confirms that Timbersaw was in fact taken out. So at least we're playing the odds here. We think it was banned out. We're going to go with yes on this one. Don't at me. But I got to say, when you look at a draft and you see Disruptor as your squishiest hero, that's not particularly squishy, is it?
Oh, well, Shadow Shaman's pretty squishy. He hits like a truck, but he's got like, I think, 540 HP. So...
I mean, fair enough, fair enough. But I don't know. Probably maybe because Shadow Shaman has such a good laning phase, I feel like it's not squishy. Leave me alone.
He's laning with like a little big brother, like Shadow Shaman next to Mars. Like, are you really going to be messing with the Shadow Shaman with the Mars protecting him?
Is Mars the Axe fan? You and I were chatting about Dota 2 lore.
Mars is a god. He's with the Zeus. Like him and Zeus have like, yeah, he's got like interactions with Zeus because he's actually a god.
Gotcha.
That's why his spells are called God's Rebuke.
Just
saying.
Prepare for battle. You know, guys, it's been fantastic casting for you today. I've really enjoyed it, but Not a Hero has killed me, so I'm going to leave now. All right, let's see how this one pans out. Bottom lane, we have an entourage in the bottom lane at the moment. PunX, they seem keen for something. Maybe they want to make sure that Nemi gets an early extra stack of stolen agi because they're all moving down here, and they are going to run into a couple players. And tell you what, one thing Shadow Shaman is not is
going the wrong way.
A slouch level 1, but does he know that they're walking into the Horde? And I guess it doesn't matter. They get 2 very deep wards down very early on, so this is 2 interesting ones here. Immediately being pinged out though, so it looks like they're onto them. Let's see, do you pick right, Nibbling Monkey? You're going to find the first, but not the second. So get the D
They're
ward
doing a nice job here. They put their ward down, but then they move back to the high ground. So if anything is going to wrap onto them, they will be able to see it coming because they're not smoked. So it's just a nice little cutesy play. They moved out together, got the ward down. Now they moved back up to the high ground just to make sure no one is wrapping. Mars will stay down. Shadow Summons will stay on the high ground to ensure that no one is coming from the stair line. So they've spotted this. They're probably going to just give them the rune.
Alright, with the Sign of Wars, it's time to go. Top lane, of course, does mean that they get the top one for free. Actually, a bit of a pity that Reaper didn't decide to mosey on up, but that does end up with 1 apiece. And the second one will be collected, or rather 2 apiece, as the second one will be collected. As I collect my words by PunX any moment now. Nice block actually by Soup. Gets the on the win on this one. I think with range here, you definitely always have a slight advantage up against melee heroes if you get the better block. But tell that to MD, who just does not care at all. At all.
Oh, this line is bottom with the Slock. I don't like this. The Grimstroke needed to be bottom. Like that actually gives them kill threat with the Slock. And line is like we spoke about this last night as well. He's a pretty weak laner. He's not going to be able to trade with a Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman's going to keep nuking him.
Career, nice. Oh, he took so much damage. Not nice. I take it back. It hurts so much. I think if he had
he's a legion.
If he had got the if Soup had, oh wow, Soup. This is adventurous. This is very adventurous, to say the least. And,
yeah, there we go.
Well, I mean, hands up in the air, and the tip comes out, and, I mean...
Level 1 moment of courage, let's go. Like, good understanding by MD of his hero there, though. Like he knew he skilled this moment of courage level 1, and there was an entire creep wave there, so his proc chance was pretty high, and he just committed. Like, I think he still had a fairy fire as well.
He was not in danger at all. I mean,
yeah, he was
admittedly, Soup didn't use his, and I think the reason he didn't was because he wasn't expecting the proc on that particular hit that killed him. So, you know, unfortunate, I guess, but just really strange to take that fight regardless. It didn't ever seem like he was going to win it, and I mean, that is so huge for a mid play. I mean, you would have expected that life got pretty hard for a Legion Commander mid, and now he's in a fantastic position. Soup, however, has done a lot of work here. This time around, maybe can win it if he opts to go for this fight. I mean, this time around, gets a fair amount of damage off. Top lane, looks like Gambino is the one in trouble, but RDK will get stunned up by Nibbling Monkey, but should be enough to finish the job, and is. Now they can potentially turn this into another. Nasal Goo hurts so much, but don't think they'll quite have the damage finish off the TPing hero. In the end, RDK and Reaper will have to be satisfied with, well, I mean...
So the Inkswell, they're doing a bit of work, but they need to watch out with this Inkswell play on the Bristleback. Like, he hasn't skilled Bristleback yet because he opted for Goo level 2. But the moment he takes a level of Bristleback, if you Inkswell and he's facing away from you, like, the little mini procs from the Inkswell procs the Bristleback, and he actually ends up full spraying like crazy. So you can actually end up killing your team like that. So he just needs to watch out with once that skill is in play. This Lion is suffering bottom.
I mean, right now it feels like all 3 lanes are just good times. I mean, I think Pressure is probably going the hardest of it, and doesn't feel like he's struggling. Admittedly, the stock is getting a lot of farm. That's the one thing that's definitely going in PunX's favor, and man, do they need it, because the other lanes are not going well. Top lane as well, Reaper, they're going to lose their stack. So Gambino as well as Nibbling Monkey do get some action here. But, I mean, the damage feels like it's been done, both in mid and in top, right?
It was early kills, and obviously that first blood would have given MD a little bit of a lead.
Top lane, they're going to have RDK once again re-engage onto Gambino. Nibbling Monkey wants to finish off Reaper on the sidelines, but it's probably going to come at the expense of his core. And look at all those stacks on top of Gambino. He is not going anywhere, and he's brought down. And now, this time around, they may in fact be able to bring down this Grimstroke as well. Do they want it, or do they just send him backpacking? He is very, very low. They decide to respect that, but the damage really is done. I mean, RDK, he is having the time of his life up here in top lane.
This Void Spirit didn't lose any XP though. Like, he's respawning with this big group wave coming in, so it's not the end of the world. He's actually going to get the full XP for this wave. If he died there and that lane was pulled, then he would have been extremely sad. But he's going to keep up. He's probably going to hit level 4 from this, or 3.5, close to 4. So not losing out on too much XP. So a little bit of engagement, a little bit of a kill there. Maybe if he takes a level of Dissimulate, he actually ends up like stopping that gang from happening. He can do like little cutesy jukes towards the side of the river, or onto the high ground, or into the tree line. But RDK is skill building this Bristleback for full-on kill potential. He went 1-2-1, got the Bristleback as well. He's got a Soul Ring up, and he's got the Ring of Health queued already. The bounty runes coming out.
And they're recommitted in the bot lane as well, seeing both heroes back, but in the end it should be, I imagine, 2 apiece. Super, you're gonna go.
Yeah.
So actually 2-3-1 actually is likely the. Am I going crazy? I think we're going crazy. Something like that. Runes were collected.
So Nemi has opted for treads into the Fusel Blade, which is pretty good. Like we all know, Bristleback with no mana is a very sad boy. He did get the Soul Ring to kind of compensate a little bit for the laning phase, but we've seen Miracle do at the moment.
Oh, hold on, top lane. Sorry, mid lane. MD. He wants to potentially pick this kill up onto Soup. He actually committed very hard, and Jace was immediate on that TP, but in the end, he was still able to back out. The silence from Soup saved his life as he used everything up. Nibbling Monkey very, very low here, and he gets pulled back as well by Reaper. They want to try to turn this around to get something out of the deal. They will get the stun off onto both, but RDK probably controls Gambino well enough here to keep Reaper alive. Gambino trying to run back now. RDK, do you want to still complete this kill? Because that is directly under the tower, and he does in fact back off. But in the end, 4-0 as WRG, I mean, they're pulling ahead in pretty much every regard. The one big thing though is keep an eye on Stark, because Nemi is actually having a fairly good time in the bottom lane. Second on last hits, only second to the Legion commander, who, I must be said, is giving Soup a very, very hard time middle.
The only problem they have with this bot lane is this lying being here. Like,
sorry, mid lane, they're going to pick up Soup as well. This is a little bit rough right now. MD is destroying Soup.
Is that just a straight up duel into a kill?
I only caught the tail end of it, but yeah, I think he literally just walked up to him, got a couple of procs top lane. RDK taking a bit of harassment here, but as our admin friends have pointed out, it's high levels of moment of courage, just doing so much work.
That's surprising. Like, you don't see Legion commanders these days going so many levels into moment of courage. You see some just putting 1 or 2 levels into it, and then, like, especially from a mid lane perspective, they put levels into overwhelming odds. Because it secures your farm for you. You can always nuke the range creep and do like consistent damage to the enemy. But he's opted, after that first blood, he's opted that he's going to put massive levels into Moment of Courage, get 85% lifesteal from it, and just make sure you can fight him. So that's very surprising, because your chance remains the same. It stays 25% across the board. It's just the amount of lifesteal. Oh, and the cooldown. So it's actually got an internal cooldown. So it scales from 2.3 second proc chance to like 0.8 on max level, which we're seeing now. So he wants to be fight ready. Like, this is very interesting. And then also press the attack level 3. So
I can tell you one man who's very happy right about now. That's one of our stream viewers, Noob Squatter, who's really enjoying the fact that MD is crushing Soup at the moment mid. And as you mentioned, he is fight ready, and he's still moving towards that blade mail. But I actually wouldn't hold it against him if he made like a quick diversion and threw that blink, because he's halfway there, and he honestly is such a threat. He's so overwhelmingly powerful right now. Excuse the overwhelming pun against PunX.
The overwhelming pun. The Slark is getting completely bullied now. Like, they need to move this disrupt to bottom. Oh, they killed RDK top. Oh, there's a rotation by the puck.
Yeah, so that's Dream Call being used, and I think a very
necessary MD's coming in bottom.
Oh, MD finds Nemi, does get the duel off, and guess what? That does not work against duel. Dark Pact will not dispel that, and yeah, just MD Dota.
Yeah, the Slark needs to, I don't know, he needs to get away from this lane, or they need to move the Grimstroke bottom. This Lion is not contributing anything in that lane. Apologies.
Choose the light, not here. Choose the light. Same for PunX, because look at MD. He absolutely no respect. Jace is there with Soup, and I'm just gonna right click you. He's gonna run out of the tower, and I'm gonna keep right clicking you. And even though you bring in your support, I don't care at all. Stun goes out onto MD, maybe overseeing his welcome a little bit. Unfortunately for him, Soup actually back off towards the top ruin. Didn't quite connect. Gambino does find himself in a stick of trouble here as RDK and Reaper try to beam down him. They still have vision thanks to that Thunderstrike, and Gambino using all sorts of fancy footwork, but in the end RDK just smashes him. But in comes the support finally, comes in the form of Jace. Enough is enough, says the Lion. I've had enough of you guys bullying this lane. I will find 2 in the top lane. But well, what a surprise. MD finds yet another kill onto Soup mid, and these are all solo kills, which makes it that much more painful. And oh man, he is.
And Slark's getting bullied bottom as well.
Nemi does in fact have the LT pressing screen, just baiting him out as well. Things are falling apart rapidly. I mean, this game may be 3-9, only 2k in it, but it feels much worse than that.
They need
WG
to make
seems
it.
to be
They need
completely
to secure
dominant.
one of these lanes because currently they're losing all 3 lanes. So they need to put this Grimstroke in the line in the same lane, whether if it's with the Void Spirit or with the Slock, but they need to make something happen at the moment.
You know, MD has 30 dual damage in 9 minutes. Like, that's really... Like, think about the fact that at 30 damage, right? Just for some thought, is half of a Grimstroke's right click.
Well,
Like,
he's at three deals and 3 wins.
Yeah, but I mean, in 9 minutes, it's like that's insanely significant. He's bought an item, a broadsword, which gives him half of that for 1,200 gold, right? So, like, you know, think about the fact that this man is just... It's so much extra damage this early in the game. Like, we often see 200... You see the plus 200 Grimstroke.
Oh, good kill by the... It was just a Slock bounce into a Lion Finger, them using that Lion's level 6 effectively. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. This is a Legion Commander that's hitting for almost 200 damage 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Like, how much HP does these heroes even have? Like, Lion has 700 damage. He needs to hit him 4 times. Like, that's ridiculous.
And he's got the Blade Mill up as well, so look out, because you're going to be hitting yourself too at this point. And this makes him invulnerable versus Puck, I also want to point out, because now... it's not even that he can just crush Puck by right-clicking him, but Puck can't do anything to him, because he's also seeing a 1.7k HP up against the 1000 HP that Soup has. He doesn't have a chance here.
Don't do that. Oh, he just killed the illusion. That deserves a tip. Come on, Soup, tip him. He's not tipping him.
I was kind of surprised, because that looked fairly obvious, if I'm perfectly honest, but I mean, not a huge cooldown, so not a big deal. Harry the Hams, though, looks like he wants to bring down this tier 1. I don't even know if they needed this. They commit the 7 wards, but I don't even need it. Top lane, though.
Moss going down bottom.
Looks like Gambino will be fine. Bottom lane, as mentioned, they lose the Mars, so once more keeping their hopes alive are PunX, but in so much trouble regardless.
And once again, the supports are getting decent farm on them. Like, both WRG supports are sitting on close to 2,000. Lion is actually pretty far ahead. That kill he got bottom.
Repo will be caught out here by Soup, and they finally get something out of it, but this is going to be potentially very painful, and yes, it is. Last hit, RDK manages to get the kill, so unfortunately for Soup, this game is just... This is not his game, man.
This vicious nasal goo is doing so much work. Like these heroes with no armor items yet, they're just being punished. So Soup at least has a 2 null tallies, which gives you a bit of armor. But like you saw, the nasal goo there, this bristleback just hit him twice. And MD is well on his way to get a blink dagger now, and then he's going to become even more scary. And he's mainly been playing on his own at the moment. He hasn't like run a kill squad with someone. He's just running around the map looking for people to deal by himself.
Well, I mean, this is MD land. The D in MD stands for Dota, and the M stands for Mai, and that's exactly what's going on right about now.
Please never do that again.
I can't promise that.
Hashtag worth.
Hashtag worth. There we go. WG are going to find a little bit more here as well. Nibbling Monkey will be caught up, but it looks like they want to turn this one around. Gambino goes straight back in. Does he have the stun? Yes, he does. Beautiful work there, using every tool at his disposal to make sure he sticks that one out. He got glimpsed back by Repo, but did not matter.
He just went to the glimpse with it assimilate, so that was pretty good play.
Beautiful decision there. And they're going to commit the Dream Call as well onto RDK. Easier said than done. And you can see Jace is like, nah, I don't want this anymore. And RDK is like, yeah, I think I will enjoy this fight. Charges down to Jace, and this becomes a fairly free kill in the end. Juking around, but not going to work against Cool Spray. On the back lines, they do bring in the support, and the support comes in the form of MD. Give me something. Oh, he caught him! He caught him on the sidelines, and he is still alive a little bit longer. Gambino, no, he can't get out. No tricks left of the trade, but RDK lives out as well. And now Nemi realizes that this fight is sour and has to back out. MT, though, he wants to hit anything right now. Didn't actually get the dual victory, so good news there. But this is chaotic stuff, and PunX aren't responding to it very well.
It's just the tankiness of this draft, and they don't have the tools to deal with it. Yet. You don't have anyone going like a Vessel, or the Slark is not going to go Silver's Edge for quite a long time. Puck is not going to be doing that. He's going for the Witchblade. Grimstroke can get something like a Vessel just to give them a bit of extra damage because he can combo it with his ulti as well. But yeah, they just don't have the tools to deal with this WRG draft running at them at 14 minutes in their own triangle.
But look how rich they are. How ridiculously rich. You have both RDK and an MD sitting on 6.5 and 7.5k respectively, and your poor Slark is meant to deal with this. Good luck. Bottom lane. They're going to try and find something. They did manage to get the Shadow Shaman elsewhere, but they just can't deal damage to these people. Come right back here, Soup. He does manage to get with the Dream Core, but he gets caught out by the ulti, and the help was trying to be brought in by Nemi, who's now also sitting inside that. They can possibly just run him down here. They get the vision on him from the Thunder Strike, and he does manage to spell RDK, bringing Nemi very, very low. Nemi decides to pop the ulti, but be careful. Yeah, that RDK is still very dangerous, even inside Shadow Dance, so he does have to respect that and back
3 heroes top by himself. Like, I just looked up, and this Legion Commander is running forward, and there's 3 heroes from Radiant running back. I'm like, what's going on?
Which is the appropriate decision. I mean, look what happened to these Ancients. They're probably just as hard now for MD to bring down in a right-click battle, so...
So, once again, good movements by WRG here. They moved RDK bottom now because they want to start securing map control.
Okay, this is ridiculous. What a hex! What a hex! Oh, MD, not like this! You're worth so much money! So much money. Not enough money, actually. That's ridiculous. That man, what? 500 gold for that? It's like just killing Thanos. And no, hold on, right? Like, Thanos invades you, right? He comes after your planet, right? And you bring him down, and some dude walks up to you and says, "Nice work, buddy." But that's what just happened here. That's not okay. 500 gold, nonsense.
500 gold was on Soup though. That wasn't bottom.
Oh yeah, there's a big brawl going down here. The arena is down and they're just managing to control Nemi so well. He doesn't have Shadow Dance yet. If he can stay alive for a little bit longer, if they can control this Mars, which they do, Nemi can re-engage. And RDK in the back line is going to have to watch his friends fall because he realizes no matter how far they are ahead, they're starting to fall apart here. Not a good passage of play. PunX staying alive.
Yeah, WRG just getting a little bit over cocky there, and like MD jumping into 4 heroes and instantly getting hexed. I think even if he got the duel off there,
and they're gonna find RDK as well. Can they bring down this man? He's a tough lad, but Nemi on the right side as well, and they're gonna try bring down RDK. This would be another big kill for them. They drop the ulti from Harry in the hands. In comes Reaper. He's caught out Nemi. Nemi desperately trying to walk out of this one. Puck though.
Good Harry.
He'll be brought down. Harry doing fantastic work controlling the puck. That's your job. You do that. And in comes Mars. Do they have anything to catch? Doesn't look like it. Smoke does get popped. Oh, that's pure. Dangerously close to Nemi, actually.
They're going to run straight back at this Legion Commander top. They want to kill him again.
Oh, this would be huge. This would be a turning point. Nemi finds him. They catch him out. Can they control him? Do they have the damage? He turns his attention to it. Doesn't quite commit the duel. Realizes now it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. And MD, back-to-back deaths. PunX, where was this? Where was this a moment ago?
Very good play. They realized that WRG is playing a little bit overconfident. They're pushing lanes which they wouldn't normally be pushing, or they're backing a bit too slow because they're a bit overconfident, and they're just capitalizing fully on it. They took that mid-fight, killed the Bristleback, backed away out of vision, instantly smoked up and ran straight top lane. Like when they killed the Bristleback and didn't pressure the mid-tier 1. Like that should be indication for you on the map to know that something is going on and they're going to try and kill you.
Please look at the XP graph, by the way. I just want to say, for me, I always think we overtalk gold. Look at the XP. The XP has been normalized. We're back in with a game here. 4K at 70 minutes? Sure, not great, but Dota can be played, and Dota can be won from that position. If you take a look at the win probability as well, we went from what called maybe like 90% and it's starting to teeter back towards 75%. So obviously a huge amount of work to be done by PunX. But there's also something to be said about momentum, and right now it's in their favor. Have I cursed them? Let's find out. They go back onto the Mars. Can they make this happen? But Harry the Hands manages to turn this one around. They still manage to control, but on the sidelines, they do connect onto Repo, who dropped down the LT. A little bit of a defensive use that comes up, but Precious Petunia does in fact control. In this duel, this one ain't going a begging. They manage to find another kill. The backlines, who's this? They bring down the puck as well, and Grimstroke in the air flying around, but Nibbling Monkey will be yet another corpse to be added to the graves, because right now, WOG have had enough, and even though that engagement was on them, a beautiful counterplay coming out of Harry the Hams means that engagement, just when things start to look up, gets punished by potential Roshan.
Tightening it up a bit. Jace did a very nice play on the line there. The moment the smoke broke, he blinked onto the high ground. He threw an insta-hex, but unfortunately, like, the fight was a bit too scattered. The puck got caught off in the river, and as you said, Harry the Ham with a great counterplay. And straight into the roast pit, objective gaming. You think Jace is going to try and steal this?
Jace?
He's just trying to slow it down.
He is slowing it down though, and Puck's back. Can they turn this one on? Oh, Gambino! No, Gambino! No, not into the roast pit with the MD monster.
Oh, Roche is
angry. Roche is real angry. Okay, right, so. The pit of throws. Behold, Roshan, half HP. I set the tone for you right now. Bear in mind, 14 to 17 does mean that punks are able to pick up kills. If they can win around the Roche and pick it up, or backlines, Nemi, this is adventurous to say the best. They do pick up the puck though, but look where Nemi is. He could be in trouble here. He's trying to bring down this Mars, and he's going to be able to do so. Jade has to back off, and now Nemi in a little bit of trouble here. He's being beamed down on Power Decay. Immediately pops the Shadow Dance and will start to be able to yes, he will. Surviving, and that could be the end of that. So it's 2 for 1 at the moment. Roshan still, I guess, possibly defendable, but really hard. MD makes no mistake, walks in, and they're even going to commit the ultimate from Harry the Hand. So this is surely enough to secure this. In fact, you can look by Nemi's position as well. They've decided that they're not keen to try to take this on anymore. They're going to go clean up bottom lane, and the big fella can fall down to WRG. I actually was expecting Puck to blink in and steal it, because this game's been crazy, but there is a blink. It's onto the Grimstroke though, Nibbling Monkey. Don't want to stick around there. Well, MD will accept your offering. 90 dual damage now at 20 minutes.
They're just playing with so much aggression, and after those little bit of pointless deaths now, they tightened it up. So you can see they started playing like close to each other. Petunia's going on the Slark bottom.
And he's got support coming in. A smoke was actually committed. So Nemi's got to be careful because the cavalry is arriving. RDK will connect with the nasal gun. Nemi just said, I want out. I want out real bad. But is he going to get out? He's in trouble here. The courier, even in more trouble. It's brought down. They didn't connect with the Arena of Blood. Nemi still in so much trouble. 5 seconds. He gets fortunate because MD went the wrong way. But Nemi's still in trouble. Trying to dance around. Still in trouble. He's going to be brought down. Clumsy at best. And in the end, WP will accept it. And Jace, easy additional kill. No way in this for punks. They need to back off. And unfortunately for them, WG may not have made it look pretty, but they get a really important kill as well. Because Stark was starting to zone in on that net worth at the very least.
Okay, he is starting to work on this Silver's Edge now as well. Once he gets that, he's going to be a big threat on the map. But he's still very far off. Like, he needs to get the Shadow Blade. He's got the amulet. I hear Legion Commander queuing up death.
For the tower, I think.
Oh, okay. No, like when I hear that press the attack animation, you just assume that
that someone's going to die, right?
Yeah, Soup's going to die.
Sorry, Soup.
So that previous one, the Shadow Shaman actually hexed him before the Legion killed him. So when we hear Shadow Shaman's little chicken animation, then you know.
Alright, well, let us see what happens. WG, they still have that Aegis in hand, and MD will gladly accept any opportunity to go mano a mano with anybody here. They definitely have the damage output with the Blade Mail as well. Actually, this is a really hard defense. Ulti comes out from Harry the Ham, so the Serpent Ward's
not ready for it as well. They've got heroes mid and top.
Are they? I think they might just be dropping this. As sad as that may be to sound, I don't think we're going to see a big team fight here. They've already lost their tier 3 tower, and they're already losing these racks. I think you're satisfied with not losing more heroes. I think that's good enough. That's what you're going to have to accept. You can farm those Serpent Wards, make the most of it, be careful. Be very careful. Be even more careful than that because they can see you, Gambino. And I tell you what, if I was MD, I wouldn't care. I have an Aegis, and gentlemen, I have the opportunity now to accumulate more damage, and I'm going to take it.
So Nemi did the right play there. He didn't go back. He kept on farming. But now after the barracks is gone, he's TP'd back to base. I would have maybe liked him to see a few more rotations through the jungle there, waiting for that triangle to spawn. I guess he just wants the comfort of his team. But they don't have control of this area. Look at the warding from WRG. There's one in the base, there's one on the other side of the tree line, and there's one in the triangle area as well. So very aggressive wards.
And unfortunately, with so much going on, they might not just find them. They do try to bring down the... Oh, that's actually a really good hex that comes out onto this Void Spirit. They're going to hold him as well. Absolutely no way out. Puck realizes that he too needs to make his way out. Oh, Gambino! Gambino alive! Gambino not alive. Gambino dead, but you know who else is dead? Soup. Gambino finds him on the sidelines. That is unkind at best.
We heard the press the attack and it just happened, eh? Like, this is getting rough. Like, they don't have tools to deal with this draft. The puck does have a Yule Scepter, but like he's just getting hexed or dealed instantly. Like he's not being allowed to play Dota at the moment. This Legion Commander is very close to an Assault Cuirass.
I said
He's
I
got the
can't
high
help
pulse already.
I can't help but feel we're watching like a prelude, right? Like one day Super's going to get revenge against MD, and it'll be like a very impactful game. I mean, obviously this one itself has a huge amount on the line, and right now not looking good for Punks as they have to perform a minor miracle to get out of harm's way here.
The problem is they can't let fights happen inside their base at the moment because of the Shadow Shaman wards. They
like
have
this
to,
exact one right here.
yeah, they have to take fights outside the base, so the Shadow Shaman ward just doesn't destroy, because it takes you such a long time to drop this Bristleback or Mars even, that these wards will take your towers, if not the Legion Commander.
They do decide they want to engage here. They go for a pretty decent ultimate as well. In comes the Mars, and he was actually silenced out here. Gambino able to make sure this Mars can't get his ulti off. If they can bring him down soon, not able to do so just yet. They do manage to get the kill off, but guess what? The duel is there, and Soup so low will be finished off. And this insane Legion Commander is fighting fit and will want a little bit more out of the deal, but they've already got their axe. They've already got what they came for, but RDK, that's just cruel. Brings down the line as well. The GG seems totally imminent as RDK toys with his food, bouncing around. Jace does manage to connect with the stun. They will be able to control him for a little while longer, and they should be able to bring down RDK. Should be able to bring down RDK, and are able to bring down RDK. But once again, that is classic, like, I'm winning the game RDK, because he knows that they are so far ahead.
With a Bristleback. So, yeah, and he's busy building a heart next, so he's just going to get tanked.
We catch out the MD Nightmare. And they should be able to get some kind of revenge here. Demi, this one's for Poop, I imagine him saying, because that is a naked Legion Commander. He lost his Aegis in the previous fight.
They need to try and get those kills onto the Slark, though. That's 600 gold to Gambino.
Hold on. There's a little bit more here, because Soup has also found an opportunity. He's going to commit the Dream Core as well, but it's a really tough hero to bring down. Repo also there to support. Can they manage to do the job? Nice timing that glimpse means that they do manage to get back. Soup actually was able to get around it, so nice work there by him instead. But Repo probably going to survive this one. I say this. Jace, they're able to connect as well, so they find a couple on the back of that. It's definitely not enough. But I got a hand to PunX not giving up.
Just a little bit of sloppy piece of play there. MD hanging around in the jungle. He had the vision there, but obviously wasn't expecting to get caught. He got hexed, he got stunned, and they blew him up. And then it just chain events. Then it went to Petunia, and then it went to Repo. So once again, just fall back a little bit, tighten it up, push that top lane in, wait for your big carries to spawn, and then make a play from there.
Okay.
Oh, Harry. I'm surprised Harry doesn't have the shard yet. Like, it's so good with the push as well. Especially from... Oh, here he goes.
Oh, no. Not this again. Soup's still alive. This time Jace tries to TP up, but Harry the hands. I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen.
Oh, he wanted the deal!
He really did want that one. How dare you? How dare you steal that duel from me? He was saving it for Soup, actually, I think is what happened there.
Maybe Harry thinks 150 duel damage is enough. He's not going to give him any more.
You know, I've seen stranger things than teams BM their own Legion Commanders, so...
That's why he's got the Ghost Scepter queued up as well. He's going to go E-Blade, and then when Legion Commander deals, he's just going to E-Blade him, so you can't hit him.
You know...
So, next level play.
I think we need some like Lincolns or Lotus Orbs or something here. Oh, once again, Harry the Ham's everywhere, and it just... Okay. Eventually, like, Nibbling Monkey's done everything. Enjoy it for a moment.
He just gave up on life. Like, opened up some Sudoku there on the side. Like, okay. Like,
I feel like they should have adopted him, right? That was an opportunity just to like have a polite conversation. In Dota, you don't often get opportunities to adopt a player, but I want you to think about this right now. You could have convinced that man to join your team and say, like, listen, you come stack for us. You come, you know, make yourself useful on the winning team, because right now that was probably his best.
3 goals.
We will adopt you or you die. That's your choice, you know. And then he gets the opportunity to.
It's more deal damage. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's steady more deal damage, or you buy some wards. Like negotiations.
Look, we're obviously having a lot of fun here, but bear in mind, for PunX isn't a great experience right now, and of course they're doing everything they can to stay alive. And I also want to point out as well, just so we're all on the same page, WG are they're horrific in the sense that their skill level is so high, they will punish you, and they're so experienced. So
Oh,
don't
Legion straight up dueled the Slock bottom and killed him.
yeah, don't underestimate how good punks are, but this is a very challenging position to find your way back on. They do get off a good engagement, bringing down that awful Shadow Shaman that's giving them such a hard time. And even RDK really suffering here on the back line. So aggressive, doing a Superman presentation right now. Does not manage to connect though with the Illusory Orb. He was pinned up against the wall by Pressure Junior, and they are holding out a little while longer. Repo stalked, and he's gonna get. Is he gonna get away? No, he's not. Repo tossed up in the air, but bear in mind there's a tastier
They need to be giving these kills to the
Pressure
Slock. He needs
Junior.
edgy stacks, but they just keep like taking it away from him. Like it's like little small things. Like that's the third kill that was taken away from Slock and not giving him an edgy stack. Like I'm probably one of the biggest.
Mid lane, MD. He just 3-shot Grimstroke, by the way. And he didn't even bother activating Blade Mail. He 3-shot the Grimstroke. That is 240 dual damage.
Yeah, plus an AC on top of it. Like that's.
Yeah. So obviously a game that's going out of control heavily, and the stakes are high. The winner of this goes into the upper bracket of the tournament. I mean, it's not a wooden spoon event here, and WG are making it look like it's all done and dusted. But once again, don't underestimate punks. They can 100%. If you don't give them the respect they deserve, they can take a game away from you. But with that said, I mean,
there is some light here for punks. They still have a racks up, and the thing is, like the Slock is getting bigger. But like I was mentioning, they need to ensure that he's getting their stacks. They did such a nice play to stop the Disruptor's TP in the jungle area there. They need to give that kill to the Slock. He's only got 9 perma agi stacks, and I think that was the third kill that was just taken away from him. Like just by people wanting to kill WRG. Like that's what it's about. Like a little bit flustered maybe, but if the Slock can get more stacks up, the Legion Commander is a massive threat with this damage he's putting out. But Slock has the silvers. He can start killing Mars. He can start killing Bristleback, like we saw in the previous engagement. And he's going Lincoln Sphere next. I think BKB might have been a stronger option. But once he has this next item up, like he can kill the supports without getting control. We're going to look at some action in the Roche pit now. They know this is happening. And it's not going down fast enough.
Well, looks like they're interested. Soup tosses out the Illusory Orb. Does delay things a bit. Roshan follows out. RDK straight in the middle of it though. Do they try to poach this? Or are they going to steal it? What's the play? Punk realize they can't allow this to happen. Backlines, Mars goes in. Precious Petunia, but the duel in the Roast Pit. Goodbye again. Who got that Aegis? Went to RDK. And this is probably all they wrote. They're going to be able to bring down the line as well. He manages to get up the Hex, but that just delays the death. Into the outside. Making the movement all the way to the outside of the Roche Pit. The tips come out. And unfortunately, that is likely the end of the story. Punks are, well, they're going to have to do something incredibly special at this point.
I just need to say that Harry the Hams is looking so good. Like he's always been a solid Dota player, but this is the best Dota I've seen him play in many years. He's looking phenomenally sharp. Like
top lane,
point.
Gambino is going to interrupt what's going on because he looks like he actually wants a piece of this, going after the Mars, but both players really struggling to deal damage at the moment. Gambino actually getting a little bit low here, and as mentioned, the game is actually over because MD and friends are in fact going to finish this game off, go straight down middle, and man, a very insane game though. Both sides had their moments, but to the end, look, WOG just they got style points with that win as well. And I tell you what, MD is gonna sleep well tonight. He's gonna feel good about himself, and I think the entire team of Punks are going to check under their beds to see if that Legion Commander is still waiting to duel them, because he was monumental in this victory.
No, they played extremely well. But like I said, Harry looks extremely sharp. I think their draft was executed very well again. This Legion Commander having a field day, like completely destroying the puck, getting the first blood solo on a mid, and then I think he killed him twice in the lane with duel by himself before he even had blade mail, and then his rotations were sharp as well. So very good performance by MD, and 250 dual damage on a Legion Commander. That's terrifying.
It really is though, right? I mean, and it could have been probably worse. And the honest truth is that if you're going to just pick this game apart, it just comes down to the fact that MD got a massive start and never lost it. And take nothing away from the rest of the WG roster, because as you mentioned, Harry the Hams, he was just so good, just so invasive into the way that his opponents wanted to play the game. RDK, incredibly aggressive, moving around consistently, making sure that he could just bully the lanes in a way. He was actually sitting between the towers early on and just making sure that there was no way to lane in that top lane against him. And look, once again, PunX, they're a great team, and I imagine it's probably not going to be a good time for whoever they come up against in the lower bracket, because they're going to seek some
retribution.
they're going to want vengeance, and I'm glad I don't have to take them on. But of course, congratulations to WOG, and thank you for entertaining us as they make their way into the upper bracket, where they have some pretty interesting opponents up against them. I think most notably, of course, would be Sinister 5, who are kind of a scary bunch, if we're perfectly honest. I believe there's also one old legendary side, that of DUC, up against them. And remind me, who am I missing out here? There's one more. I believe it's XD. That's the last one I'm missing.
XD is the other one. And yeah, these teams.
And of course, we're just naming the big boys, right? These are the sides that are really big up and well known in our industry. But there's also some great new sides coming along. And one of the great things about Keystroke, I think, is that it's been an opportunity for some of the established greats to come up against some of the new sides. And look at PunX. I mean, this is a team that I think is the first tournament for me, certainly, that I've broadcast of them. And there is definitely there's definitely a case to be made for how good that side is and how they're going to go from strength to strength. But as mentioned, there is XD versus DUC going to be your first upper bracket matchup. That's going to be a cracker. And I got to say, I really do think DUC is established as that dark horse. They're the team that has taken off. They've taken matches off against sides like Sinister 5. But XD going to be a tough one. We'll see if they can make that one happen. Of course, Sinister 5 versus WOG, do a great matchup. Sorry, you want to weigh in on the DUC game?
Yeah. So in the DUC game, I think it's going to depend on the matchups. Who's going to be playing in that draft? So XD will obviously be playing with their staple side, but Duck is, I think, like close to 9 players on their roster, and I think if they come with their strongest variation of that roster, that game is going to be extremely competitive. And I don't even think that's a massively favored XD game. I think it's a 60-40 maybe in XD's favor.
Well, I mean, take it from a man who's played many matchups against both those two sides to call it. And I think, hey, I'm not going to argue. Definitely a game to watch. Of course, that does, for real this time, bring us on to Sinister 5 versus WRG. Honestly, this is an interesting one for me, because Sinister 5 are gods amongst men right now. But, when you look at the WRG roster, they have title holders in the most acclaimed tournaments.
They're looking very, very sharp.
They're a strong team. So, although I would not bet against Sinister 5. I would not bet against Sinister 5. You can expect that there will be a lot of resilience coming out of the WRG roster.
As long as they don't pick an offlane Enigma, then I'm happy.
There's possibly a don't die offlane Enigma in that matchup. So
that was the only game they lost last year in the final, was with the offlane Enigma, and it was just too slow. I know the heroes changed a little bit, but yeah, I agree with you. I think Sin 5 is obviously going into that as a favorite, but if WRG brings like a little bit more of what they brought tonight, the sharpness from Repo and Harry the Hams on these supports, MD looking like a beast at the moment. Game 1 and 2, like he was dominant throughout, and then RDK, which is always stable, just doing RDK things on the map. So if they click and they do make these rotations like they did this game, very sharp, very coordinated, I think that game could potentially be a massive one, or even an upset.
All right. Well, I think probably about all from us. I don't think there's anything we have left to bring up. But honestly, thank you so much for the support. I think Friday is going to be the next part of this leg. So make sure you follow on Twitter. Make sure you're around and keeping up to date with what those matches are. Like I said, you don't want to miss them. They're going to be fantastic. And although I feel totally jealous that we're probably not going to be the casters for it, I will definitely be tuning in alongside you, because, like I said, fantastic matchups to come. And yeah, from us, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys for the support. Seeing so many people on the stream is fantastic. We, it means a lot to everyone involved. So a sincere thank you. Not a hero. Any last words before we say our final goodbyes?
No, just thanks for everyone for tuning in. This was some top tier data in the country at the moment. And once again, thanks to Keystroke for hosting something like this. We've spoken about it. We said it's very fresh. It's a pleasure to be part of something like this, and it's a pleasure to watch someone put something like this together. So thanks to the organizers, and thank you guys for hosting a great tournament and having us part of it. So, and thanks to you, Albert, for the memes and the lack of cost.
It was in fact a lack of cost. So yeah, thanks a lot to you too. So, and of course, once more, let's leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Have a fantastic evening further. We hope you enjoy some more Dota in the days to come. Once again, Friday is Dota Day here again at Keystroke. So make sure that you don't go anywhere. Don't make any plans for the weekends. We have your plans sorted out for you. But for now, cheers and goodbye.
Cheers.